No matter the outcome from the tournament, there is no doubt this team is a truly special team. And with players like Grant, the program will be in good hands.
The men's lacrosse team was looking to keep the momentum going against the Jacksonville Dolphins Sunday at Dorrance Field. The Heels set the tone early, leading 7-3 after the first quarter and extending their advantage to 13-5 by halftime. Sophomore attackman Owen Duffy led the charge, contributing 6 goals and 2 assists. Defensively, UNC was relentless, holding Jacksonville scoreless in the third quarter. Graduate goalkeeper Michael Gianfrancoro made 5 saves, maintaining a 5% save rate. The Heels sealed the win with a final score of 20-7 and now have a 5-1 record.
While the men's team dominated away, the undefeated women's lacrosse team faced off at Dorrance Field against conference rival Clemson on Saturday for a top 10 matchup. The Heels stepped on the gas early with an opening goal from Chloe Humphrey to ignite a 6-0 run. Clemson rallied back with 2 goals in the second, but it was far from enough as Carolina entered the locker room up 10-2. The second half was more of the same as Ashley Humphrey notched 8 assists to tie the program record for single-game assists. 11 saves from Tar Heel goalie Betty Nelson and shifty shooting from Olivia Vergano secured the commanding victory 18-5. Charlie, we have to talk about this team. They are absolutely incredible. I mean, I don't even have the words to talk about how well they've been doing this season. What are you thinking? What do you think about the players?
Well, I definitely have the words to talk about this team, and there is a lot to talk about. I mean, they're 8-0. The Humphrey sisters collectively accounted for 15 points in the Clemson matchup, and not to mention Betty Nelson with 11 saves, her career high. It's absolutely incredible.
I mean, there's just a stacked roster. I mean, everyone is doing great things for the team, but let's talk about Brooklyn Walker-Welch, who is dominating on both ends of the field. I mean, that's absolutely incredible. What do you think?
I think they're doing absolutely amazing, and we've said it once, we'll say it a million times, UNC is a women's sports school. And speaking of women's sports, the 24th ranked gymnastics team went out with a bang and finished the regular season on Friday against Western Michigan at Carmichael Arena. The Tar Heels secured the victory with a season-best score of 196.75, marking the 6th highest total in program history, and the highest during Coach Dana Durante's tenure. Back-to-back 9.9s came from JoJo Valahovic and Kaya Forbes on the floor, and Lali Dekanoidze received an outstanding 9.925 on the uneven bars. UNC earned 49.0 or higher on every event for the first time this season. The Tar Heels will now turn their attention to postseason competition. As the Gym Heels prepare for the postseason, freshman JoJo Valahovic is proving she can handle the spotlight. Sophia Gray has a closer look at the Phenom.
History continues to be made in Chapel Hill, and it's all thanks to standout freshman JoJo Valahovic. The North Carolina gymnast has been named the ACC Newcomer of the Week for the 4th time in a row, setting a new conference record.
It means a lot, honestly, because especially just being a freshman and already making history in this program, it just motivates me to keep working hard and do my best every day.
No freshman has ever dominated the ACC's weekly honors quite like Valahovic. She's not just rewriting the record books. She's proving to be one of the most consistent performers in the nation.
I love JoJo. JoJo's personality is so fun, so bubbly. I mean, she's like a breath of fresh air. I can't even tell that she's a freshman sometimes going out there. I mean, she competes like she's a vet. And when she's off the mat, she also takes, I mean, she may not know it, but a leadership role in the way she holds herself whenever she's off the competition floor, whether that be cheering for her teammates or even in the gym. She's a team leader in the making. I mean, she's a leader right now, even though she's a freshman, and I couldn't be more proud of her, honestly.
Valahovic's impact isn't just about the numbers. Her performance has been a major boost for the Tar Heels. Head coach Dana Durante says JoJo's work ethic and composure set her apart during the recruitment process.
I don't think there's a ceiling, honestly. I think it just depends on how hard she's willing to work, how consistent she's willing to kind of put that work in, and both mental and physical. I think she is one of those athletes going to push this team to nationals.
I'm Sophia Gray reporting.
While spring break was definitely not a break, it was a break for me, but not a break for our phenomenal Tar Heels. It is time to announce our Play of the Week candidates. And trust me, we had a lot of impressive plays to choose from. Our first contender hails from women's lacrosse as ACC Offensive Player of the Week, Chloe Humphrey, shows us exactly why she earned the honor with a swift behind-the-back shot against Clemson, ducking between two defenders and sneaking in a BTB, just one of her 6 goals against the Tigers. And for our other contender, we have Michaela Page with her national championship run. That's right, the senior distance runner won the 800 meter. She stumbled along the way, but Page kept it going and led with a time of 2:39, setting a facility record with her win. Take this time to head to our Instagram stories to cast your vote. We'll announce it on Friday. We have more coming your way. Track and field brought home 2 national titles. Softball traveled to Clemson to face the Tigers for another.
Right, another blue blood, orange blood showing. And we'll teach you how to master a forehand. Live after this.
Hi everybody, my name is John. Today we'll be doing a presentation. Over here. Thank you. Okay, so you can see here that
We apologize for our technical difficulties, but welcome back to a jam-packed edition of Sports Extra.
That's right, we're back and hitting the ground running, just like the UNC track and field team, who delivered an impressive performance at the NCAA Indoor Championships, securing 2 national titles, 2 All-American Relay honors, and 3 individual All-American distinctions. The men's DMR team set a new school record, finishing 2nd, while the women's DMR team placed 9th. Despite a challenging start, Michaela Page demonstrated resilience, surging back to win the women's 800 meter with a time of 2 minutes and 39 seconds, a new facility record. Thomas Kitchell earned All-American recognition in the shot put. The meet concluded with Ethan Strand capturing the men's 300 meter national title, capping off his record-setting indoor season in spectacular fashion.
The men's tennis Tar Heels kicked off their southern stretch of matchups with a tough outing against the Clemson Tigers. The Tar Heels struggled to find their rhythm in doubles, swiftly dropping the point. In singles, Tar Heels Diego Jerry and Dennis Permove quickly fell in blowout matches. Anthony Wright was ultimately edged out in straight sets. Clemson snagged a 4-0 win, their first sweep of UNC since 1997. Then the Tar Heels headed to Atlanta facing Georgia Tech. Jerry and Wright won their doubles match with consistent and powerful serves, but that luck didn't carry over. Georgia Tech won the doubles point and continued their momentum in singles. Anthony Wright put a challenge both narrowly, lost both sets. Georgia Tech won 4-0. Putting up fierce competition in tennis takes more than what meets the eye. Our tennis analyst, Marilee Tu, is here with Charlie to demonstrate the importance of form in tennis. Marilee?
Julia, to the average viewer, tennis is just about being quick to the ball and having endurance. Sure, you have to have coordination to lob balls back and forth, but one part that's overlooked, and maybe not even noticeable to the audience, is good form. So I'm here to demonstrate the proper form of a forehand to Charlie today. Now, Charlie, I'm by no means an expert. I played in high school, but I wasn't the best.
Yeah, Marilee, I also played in high school, but I was certainly no Roger Federer, and I'm sure my old coach would be happy to see me out here getting some practice.
She would be happy that I'm out here too. Now, maybe we can help each other out while we go over the basic steps. And we can also watch some demos from some Tar Heels behind us. Now, there are 3 key points to the forehand: hand placement, foot placement, and shoulder movement. to start with the hand placement, and I'll demonstrate with the racket, but then I'll hand it to you after to try.
Sounds good.
We'll take the handy dandy racket, hold it out with the strings facing towards the camera. Your non-dominant hand, so that's my left hand, looks like your left hand too, will be on the throat of the racket, like that.
Okay, so it looks like I got the hands down. What should I be doing with my feet?
Okay, glad you asked. We need to focus on loading the legs and creating that ground force. This is what drives power into the ball. Your opposite leg, so our left legs, will be facing front, and my right leg will be out to the side. Now, we use this ground position. Make sure to bend your knees, really get into the ground to drive into the shot.
So we're all ready to go?
Not yet. Our shoulder movement is key to a fastball. So, as you go to make contact with the ball, shift your shoulder back to drive through, but also bring your torso with it. This creates leverage, and most importantly, make sure to not tuck your elbow. We're not T-Rexes. We cannot play tennis like this. The ball will hit the net every time. So extend your elbows, use the shoulder, use your torso, and your opposite arm as a guider to the ball, like that. So that was a lot. Before we put it all together, let's watch UNC veteran Carson Tangleek's forehand. She goes, look at her positioning. Grounded into the ground, elbows extended, left arm is used as a guide, shoulder is back, and boom. Look how powerful that hit was. And that also reminds me, it is so important to follow through with the ball. You've played tennis. I'm sure you've heard every coach tell you to follow through to your shoulder after a forehand. Same goes for backhand. So we remember, use all of that movement, boom. You know it's a good hit when your racket hits the shoulder. Now, let's go over this. Here's the racket. We've covered all the bases. Now it's time to put it together. Hand placements. Yes, what's next? Yes.
Grounding my feet.
Ground your feet.
All right.
Shoulder, torso, and oh, there's a ball coming. There's a ball coming. Get it. Woo! And he followed through. Nice job, Charlie. There you go.
I feel like a pro already. Thank you very much.
That was
Meredith.
a master class. I'm pretty impressed with us.
I appreciate it.
So now we know the basics, so make sure you notice the form next time you watch UNC tennis teams play. The men play Boston College Friday afternoon, and women follow facing Wake Forest. Back to you, Julia.
Thank you, guys. The Diamond Heels used a different kind of swing. They were in Louisville for a 3-game conference series against the Cardinals. In Game 1, the Tar Heels came alive in the 4th and 5th innings, with freshman Sawyer Black launching a solo homer in his first career start. Hunter Stokely added a 2-run blast, but Louisville responded with 5 runs in the bottom of the 5th, including a grand slam that sealed the game 8-7 for the home team.
In Game 2 of the double, Carolina came back to life with this Kane Kepley triple to right field. First baseman Hunter Stokely carried the torch with his 7th home run of the season, just barely making it over the fence off the bounce. Starting pitcher and captain Jake Knapp locked down the Cardinals from the mound, throwing 6 scoreless innings. The Cardinals surged back with 4 runs, but it wouldn't be enough to take down strong bats like third baseman Gavin Gallagher. Diamond Heels win 6-4.
And in their final matchup, Louisville jumped to a 1-0 lead in the first inning, with the fielder's choice allowing Lucas Moore to score with the bases loaded. Tyson Bass gave the Heels hope by blasting a fastball to left field and putting runners on the 2nd and 3rd. But the Louisville reliever nixed their chances to score. Louisville clinched the win 5-0 and took the series. And now it's time for you to take a crack at Tar Heel trivia. Our question today comes from the softball diamond. How many head coaches has Carolina's softball team had? At the end of the show, we'll reveal the answer.
The softball Heels headed down south to take on Clemson for a 3-game conference matchup. In Game 1, Macy Cintron helped Clemson take the lead by hitting a double to right center, sending 2 base runners to home plate. Clemson continued their streak in the bottom of the 4th after Maddie Moore doubled to left field, making the score 4-0 and forcing a Carolina pitching change. Despite solid pitching in the 5th and 6th from Lily Parrish, who put away 7 batters, and a 7th inning homer from Raina Blackwell, the Tar Heels fell to the Tigers 4-1, their first ACC loss of the season.
Game 2 would prove to be different thanks to a robbed homer by Sana Thompson. Then 2 Carolina home runs in the top of the second from Kiana Pierce and Shelby Barbie would put Carolina on the board. Following a wild pitch from Brooke McCubbin in the 6th, Kat Rodriguez would fire one into left field, sending Alex Coleman and Grace Jackson home. Despite a home run from Clemson's Abby Vieira later in the 6th, the Tar Heels would take the dub 6-3.
And in Sunday's Game 3, Clemson came to play, racking up run after run after run. Carly Myrtle got a run back, smashing a solo home run, her 8th of the season. Kat Rodriguez also scored for the Tar Heels with an RBI from Myrtle. Despite a heroic diving catch by Alex Coleman, Clemson didn't waver. The Heels fell 10-2 to lose the series 2-1. Our softball analyst, Alden Archdeacon, joins us now for more about how the Heels could have improved this weekend in conference play. Alden?
Well, Charlie, I'm not going to show you how to hit a softball because I don't think I have that talent. But the Heels came out hot, sweeping the series against Pitt at home. But the classic struggle they've had all year when they went on the road to the Clemson Tigers in South Carolina, it wasn't great. They only won 1 out of 3 games. Let's take a look, though, at what went right for the Heels and what went wrong. Let's start here with what went right. So Sana Thompson, our center fielder, is going to be in center field. Britton Rogers is going to throw a pitch to the Clemson batter. She's going to hammer it. It looks like a home run, but a beeline run from Sana Thompson, jumps up and grabs it. To put it in perspective, she's 5'7", I'm 5'8". Like, imagine me trying to jump up and get that. That is impossible. Let's take another look at this. I'm a little offended, Julia, that this wasn't our play of the week, but I won't hold it against you. And then moving forward, I think we're going to have to talk about what went wrong. So Kenneray Dark, she's been dominant all year, but against Clemson, she struggled. In the first game, she gave up 7 hits, and then in Game 3, they brought her in. She gave 12 pitches and gave up 3 earned runs. Here's just one example of that. She threw a changeup right where she wanted it, but the batter knew she likes that pitch. She hammers it, squares out the ball perfectly, and gets an RBI double. The reality is the Heels are going to have to figure out how to win when Kenneray Dark isn't totally lights out. I'm still confident in this team's ability. I'm hoping they can get back on track this week in Chapel Hill. Charlie?
So, Alden, what do you think Coach Lyons' message is to the team after this series loss to the Tigers?
Well, Charlie, I think she needs to take a play out of Coach Belichick's book and say, we're on to Cincinnati, but in their case, we're on to Liberty. Charlie?
Thanks, Alden. The Tar Heel women's rowing team is back after its opener at the Cardinal Invitation in Tennessee. Or are you kidding me? On Saturday, UNC swept against Navy, taking first in all 6 events. On Sunday, the first varsity boat took the dub against Alabama and Louisville. Carolina had 9 wins in all. We hope you've done some thinking because the long-awaited answer to our Tar Heel trivia question is 2. UNC softball had 2 head coaches in their history.
Donna J. Papa was at the helm for nearly 40 seasons before Megan Smith-Lyon took over the program in 2023. If you liked learning more about Carolina athletics, get excited because we have more in store for you this week. But before we get ahead of ourselves, Charlie, we have a huge game tomorrow night. How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling very, very excited, but even more excited that we get to do a show on March Madness Wednesday night. So be sure to tune in, and we will see you then. That does it for this edition of Sports Extra.
We'll be back on Wednesday and then Friday with another preview of exciting weekend of Carolina athletics.